I sort of view it from the aspect midday persistent hunters go out. They actually usually have their kill sometime in the midday. And by the time they've, because even Mary was talking about the Hadza walking for 3 to 4 hours. So if you've achieved the kill from the morning at about 12 o'clock or whatever, by the time you bring that back, it's going to be another 3 to 4 hours. You're going to be in the afternoon, in that early afternoon, mid-afternoon. That's when people were eating within the tribal group. So, and so that's what I'm trying to replicate in a sense. And remember, there were some of those tribal women there that were basically eating at about that time, and one was there that was jumping up and down, and she was basically 120 something. So she was a centenarian amongst those Maasai. So who am I to say that their circadian, sort of the way they eat and all that, is it the right way to go? Now, there are, pastoralists who also have these long lives and actually have 2 meals, and they have much earlier and slightly much, so they'll have like in that mid-morning, 10:30 to 11, and then they'll have, at around between 5 and 7, their other meal, their evening meal. And they also tend to basically live, quite a few of them. We know the Sardinians, we know the Acadians, we know a number of these who are pastoral in the way they eat. They also live pretty long. So who am I to say that it's a strict window between 12 and 3 or 4? So I'm not going to get too wound up about it, but I think that none of these people eat late in the evening. They eat within daylight, mostly within daylight. And so it seems the way to go. And I've seen better results from people, especially in the older age brackets, when they eat within daylight, mid-morning and early evening seems to be the best time before, the sun goes down or the sun, So that seems to be the thing that you notice with, because why would they be eating in those hours? Because in the old days, there was no lighting, simply no lighting. You'd come back, you'd sit around a campfire with light, and then you're off to bed later on. So there was not enough lighting to basically be able to do many things. So, it's sit around a campfire and just talk about things of the day after you've had your meal. So there's less light to be able to comfortably eat. So that's why they ate in light time. So I think that's the natural way that we've consumed for most traditional populations and tribal populations. That's how they still eat to a large extent, even today. So who am I to oppose those circadian traditional matches? I think that there's a lot of validity to that. Now, exactly, 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock or that sort of stuff, we're not going to get too wound up about that, as long as it's within those key times of mid-morning to early evening. So that sort of seems to be the best time area that seems to be much better for most people. It's also mid-morning. You've got the lowest cortisol level at about 11. Then it increases slightly and then comes down again. So